another breakdown. As you can see, last week was a great week. We ended up with a combined profit of 7 risk to reward. And if you held on to CHF JPY, you ended up closing out your trades with at least a 9 risk to reward. So we had GBP USD, we also had USD CHF and GBP CHF. So let's start off with GBP USD. First, we want to identify the direction of the market. If I look to my left, you can see that the market was previously in a bearish market structure, creating lower lows, lower highs, followed by a break of this recent high to create this new higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and now we have our impulse that broke and closed above the highest point of the previous structure, followed by a retracement of at least 2 daily candles, and they are all one color. So if I move this to the side, you can clearly see that we are in a upwards momentum. We identify our impulse right here. It is all one color. It has also broke and closed above the highest point of this previous structure right here. Our retracement is 2 daily candles minimum, and they are also all one color. On the weekly, we will look for our support or resistance that could be of influence. So let me replay this on the weekly to give you guys an idea of what it was looking like. So on the weekly, I'm going to draw my support. You can see this level right here was previously support, 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 support. Price broke this level, used it as resistance, but broke right back above. So now we are expecting this level to be used as support to continue the momentum to the upside. So we know the daily, we're looking for buys, and the weekly is above the resistance level. So it is now using it as support. On the daily, we draw our fib from the end of the retracement to the beginning to measure the distance of the new impulse. So let's draw our fib from the end to the beginning because we expect the new retracement to come at least to this negative 27 before pulling back and having its retracement. So on the 4 hour, we are now waiting for the break of this 61 level. We're waiting, still waiting, and right here we have our break. That means we can now place our order on the 61, stop loss on the 88, and the take profit on the negative 27. So let's play it forward. Right now, we have been tapped into this trade. As soon as price breaks this 38 level, that means our stop loss can now go to break even, and it becomes a risk-free trade. So we're waiting until TP gets hit. And as you can clearly see, our TP has been smashed. So this was the quick 1 to 3 on GBP USD. Our next trade is going to be GBP CHF. So let me remove all this, go back into replay mode. The setup was looking like this at the moment. So first thing, start off the direction. You can clearly see we were in a downward momentum shift, creating a bullish structure, and now we have our impulse right here, breaking and closing above this highest point of the previous structure, followed by its retracement. So we know the market is in a bullish market structure. Clearly see price is going up and not down or to the side. So we identify our impulse right here, all one color, breaking and closing above the highest point of the previous structure, followed by at least 2 daily candles, and the candles are also all the same color. So our setup on the daily is now valid. If we go to the weekly, on the weekly, we will look for our support or resistance that could be of influence. So at the moment, price was looking like, so this was what the setup was looking like on the weekly. If you look to your left, you can see that price is at a resistance level. So this right here would be our resistance level. Can clearly see that price was previously support. Now it's using at resistance. So for price to go higher and break above this level, it might get some resistance and stay around this level, or it might reject, go back to the downside, or just clearly break through. So the daily is bullish. We are looking for buys, but the weekly is at a strong resistance level. So you need to be cautious of this. If you look at this one, everything lined up perfectly. So the weekly was above this support level and the daily was also in a bullish market structure. But on this trade, you can see it's different. Daily is below. Let's play it forward because the weekly reverse. So on this one, the weekly is below, but the daily is above. So this would not be a perfect A setup, but it still would be a great setup to take. On the daily, we draw our fib in the opposite direction of the retracement to measure the distance of the new impulse, because we expect the new impulse to go from here to at least here before having its retracement and the continuation. On the 4 hour, as usual, we wait for the break of this 61 level right here. Let's play it forward, play it forward, play it forward. And now you can see we have the break of the 61 level. After the break of the 61 level, you know what comes next is that we can place our order on the 61. This one goes right here on the 88, and the take profit goes on the negative 27, giving us at least a 3 risk to reward. Now you can see right here we have a structure all the way down here, so you could possibly have another entry point in between the 61 and the 88. That means your stop loss goes below the 100 level. Take profit always negative 27, because then you're protected by the structure if price has a deeper pullback and then continue to the upside, instead of just having a little pullback and continuing upside. So this was our entry point, but if you used this one, it will still be okay. So let's put it at least at a 1 to 3 right there. Let's play this one forward, and as you can see, we have now entered this trade. Price has also immediately broke this 38 level, so now our stop loss goes to break even and it becomes a risk-free trade. So right now we're waiting, and you can clearly see we have not been hit. Our entry point has not been hit. Still in this trade. That's why I say don't babysit your trade, because price came all the way back here, almost hitting your entry point. More than likely, most people would have closed out, take the small profit, but you can see price ended up going all the way back up. So let's play it forward, and boom, price did not come all the way till our take profit. So I didn't close out my trade because there was still more rooms to go, and I wasn't on my chart, so I didn't even know that price came all the way till my TP almost hitting it. So at this moment, we are still in this trade. And let me mark off the Friday level so that I know when the week has ended. Give me 1 second. I will use the vertical line, and we're looking for Friday right here. So let's play it forward. Let's play it forward. Price came back once again. I also wasn't paying attention to the chart, so I didn't end up closing. Let's play it forward. Let's play it forward. And you can see what ended up happening is right here is where I closed out my trade. So I closed it out for a 1 somewhere right here, or at least a 1. to run with the reward. And what ended up happening, because I closed out before the end of London session on Friday. Right now you can see price came back all the way here. So if you didn't close out at the end of the London session on Friday, price went back and hit your break even point. Our next trade is USD CHF. I always start off on the daily, and we're going to go back like this. First thing is first, identify the direction of the market. Can clearly see we were, if you look to the left, in a bullish market structure. Price broke this level, creating the bearish market structure, lower low. Now we have a lower high followed by an impulse to create a lower low, followed by a retracement to possibly create a new lower high. So we identify our impulse, and our impulse here is all one color. Very strong impulse, beautiful impulse also. If we look at our retracement, it is a minimum of 2 daily candles, and it is also all one color. Our impulse also broke and closed below the lowest point of the previous structure. So this is also, just like GBP USD, a great setup. If we go to the weekly, where we want to identify or support or resistance that could be of influence, I will have to replay this candle because price was looking like this. If we look to our left, you can clearly see that this level right here is a previously support level turned into a resistance level. So right here you can see resistance, support, but price has now broken this level, is now using it with a retest as resistance to continue the momentum to the downside. On the daily, we are looking for sells. The weekly is also underneath this previously support turned into resistance level. So that's another confluence for us. We draw the fib from the end of the retracement to the beginning to measure the distance of the new impulse. On the 4 hour, we wait for the break of the 61 level. So right here, we have our break on the 61 level right now. Our order will be on the 61, stop loss 88, take profit negative 27. Or if you want to be protected by this structure high right here, you can possibly move your entry to in between the 61 and 88, stop loss above the 100, and take profit negative 27. Just make sure it is at least a 1 to 3. So right now you would have been tapped into the 61 trade and also into this adjusted entry. So we're waiting until price break this 38 level. As soon as price breaks this 38 level, we can now go to break even. Let me mark out the Friday end of the market. So let's see. That will be this one right here. Play forward. Right now, this is a great trade, having momentum to the downside and still in this trade. And right here would be the close. So I ended up closing out somewhere right here. I think somewhere right here, giving us a 1.8, almost a 1.2. So this was the breakdown on USD CHF, and the last trade is going to be CHF JPY. This was also a very beautiful trade, but I ended up closing this trade because we made some adjustment that we are not going to take a lot of trades at the same time. So I ended up closing out this trade earlier than I probably should have, but it's okay. We did have a very great week. And I'm trying to be an example and practice discipline over my emotions. So first thing is first, identify the direction of the market. I might speed up this process. So identify the direction. Clearly see bearish market structure. This having a pullback and we now want the momentum to continue this market structure. We have the impulse right here, impulse to the downside, breaking and closing below the lowest point of this structure. Impulse is all one color, followed by the retracement of minimum two daily candles, also all one color. If you go to the weekly, on the weekly, you can see that price previously had a bullish engulfing off of this support level right here, but price is also at a resistance level right here. So if I look to the left, you can see price was here, resistance, support, 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 support. Now price has broken this level, came to this support level, using this previously support turned into resistance as a level where price can get rejected from and continue to the downside. So this would be the supporting confluence. Price is now at resistance to continue to the downside. On the daily, you can see this level lines up clearly with the structure on the weekly. We now draw the fib from the end to the beginning. On the 4 hour, we wait for the break of the 61 level. And as soon as price breaks the 61 right here, we can now place our order on the 61. Boom. This one on the 88 and or take profit negative 27. Or if you want to be protected by this structure high, you can make an adjusted entry in between the 61 and 88 and stop loss above the 100 level. Take profit negative 27. Just make sure it is at least a 1 to 3 like this. So we're now waiting until we get tapped back into this trade. If your entry was on the 61, you would now have entered this trade, and also the adjusted entry has also been tagged in. So we're waiting until we get the break of the 38. So both trades can now be moved to break even. Let me mark out the Friday end. That would be Friday right here. So this would be the Friday end. And you can see that this here price ended up giving us a 126 risk to reward. So this was all the breakdowns of the trades that we took last week. You see, we ended with a beautiful 7 risk to reward. Appreciate you for staying with me, and I'll see y'all. Peace.